All right. Welcome to the Better by Numbers podcast presented by Life Metrics. I'm your host, Aaron Romano, coming to you live at the Roundtable of Longevity Clinics in Novato, California. Today we have Sagar. Is it right? Okay. And can you tell us the company you work for, sir?
It's called Empower Sleep.
Empower Sleep. Awesome. And what are you guys doing in the longevity space?
Yeah, so we're a longevity-focused virtual sleep clinic.
Okay.
So we do everything from diagnostic home sleep testing. So we capture a whole bunch of longitudinal biomarkers around your sleep. We have these rock star sleep doctors on the platform who meet with you. We'll go over the results, and then we'll come up with a personalized protocol for you. So everything is just related to sleep. It's a very root cause focused approach. So rather than just like a one night home sleep study and ending up with a CPAP machine or some sort of a sedative or hypnotic, which is what usually happens in traditional medicine, we're able to build a very personalized protocol for our patients.
Okay, great. So you guys like show up to someone's.
Well, it's all virtual. So we will ship
virtual.
them
Okay,
a diagnostic home sleep test.
Okay.
There's different types of sleep studies on the market today. So we ship it to them. They wear it. We get all of their data. We analyze it, and then we basically meet with them virtually. We'll go over the results with them. They could text us whenever they want. And if they need any sort of treatment, and we'll go into like happy to go through like what the treatments include, we could ship that directly to them as well.
Nice. Are you guys like the only ones doing this in this kind of space right now, or like, do you have any
Yeah.
competitors?
I mean, what happens in traditional markets, traditional medicine, is people will typically go to a sleep lab, right? So you like have to wait months to get into a lab. Patients go in, they're sort of hooked up from head to toe, kind of like a lab rat. You basically only get one night of data, and based off of that, a physician will try to make some sort of an assessment, right? So basically, when we started Empower Sleep, the thesis was medicine in the future is going to become much more personalized. It's going to become much more data driven. And if you look at the world's most magical and beautiful consumer products, think of like Spotify or Netflix, for example.
Okay.
The reason they won is because they really understood the consumer. They really understood everything about you. And so when we thought about, if sleep medicine were to be reinvented from the ground up today, what would it look like? It would not be a one night sleep study followed up by like a very cookie cutter protocol. It has to be very personalized to you because sleep is a very personal thing to individuals.
So every solution you would come to would be based on everybody's like different habits and what
everything.
Okay.
It's your biology, your physiology, it's your habits, your mental health. Sleep is very complex, right? It's not the main drivers of poor sleep. Like what drives poor sleep could be so many different things. It could be anything from underdeveloped craniofacial anatomy. If you have small airways, you have a tough time breathing at night. You could have other comorbidities, people with cardiovascular health issues, mental health issues. They will have a tougher time sleeping. Certain supplements or medications can drive poor sleep. So it's very, very complex. So what happens in this case is, we try to take a very, very holistic approach, and we'll dive deeper into your sleep to figure out what's actually the main driver.
Okay, so you said like normally you'd go to like a sleep clinic, and you said it'd take months for people to, I guess, figure out all your habits. Like, are you guys more streamlined? Are you quicker than that? Or
The average wait time to get into a sleep lab, believe it or not, is anywhere between 3 to 6 months.
Wow,
it takes a long time to just even get an appointment to like get into a lab. From there, you probably will wait anywhere between 2 to 4, 6 weeks to like go to your doctor, go over the results. Maybe it was just a bad night of sleep. Right.
Okay.
Like that happens all the time where these studies are just not really representing your true sleep. So that whole process is streamlined. Whereas here, you get a sleep study in 2 days. You get, you'll start off with 5 to 7 nights of data. So right off the bat, you have way more data to collect. And then you get started on a protocol within a week.
Wow. Okay. And how long have you guys been around?
About 3.5 years.
All right. And like, what is, I guess, like one of the most successful case studies, I guess, that you found?
Oh, there's tons of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
There's tons of them. I think some of the, usually when we talk, we have these slides that we show of case studies. Some of the more interesting or exciting ones, for example, we've had people take our sleep testing device to a meditation retreat, for example. and you can just see like their sleep architecture completely change while they're in a much more parasympathetic state, right? Because they're like meditating and much more
Right.
relaxed.
Much more relaxed state.
We've had
Exactly.
really interesting case studies where people have been on, let's say like a sedative for many, many years, and we could start to like wean them off of it and show them, hey, your sleep architecture is just the same as it was on this like medication. Let's start to now take you off of it. We've had case studies where, you know, someone has like moderate severe sleep apnea. You put them on a CPAP machine, and you can see that their breathing improved, but their sleep actually got worse. Like fragmentation went up.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
In traditional medicine, physicians would probably say like, this is just not a good patient, like you're not using the device like properly, or like you're not acclimating to it. So what we're now able to do is basically get a really deeper understanding and saying like, okay, this therapy is not the right therapy for this patient. Let's try something else. So it sort of opens up this whole world of different types of therapies you could now start to use. So in terms of specific case studies, there's tons of them.
Gotcha.
But there's like these really interesting cases that you start to come across, and you start to appreciate how complex human sleep actually is.
So would you say, I guess, like medication wise, there's people who are on medication that like, they need it to go to sleep. Basically, they take it every night. Would you say this is kind of a solution that would make someone get off of that, or like help someone get off of that?
100%, right? And I think the main question becomes like, why are you on that medication in the first place? Typically, when insomnia develops, and for everyone it's a little bit different, but usually there's some sort of like an event, tragic event, let's say, that occurs. It completely destroys your sleep. That event goes away, but the behaviors around those sleeps still remain, right? So if someone had, let's say you lost a loved one, and you have like these, poor behaviors around sleep and associations with sleep that start to develop, you might get on a medication, which was supposed to be a very temporary thing initially. That event went away, but those associations still remained, right? Those habits still remained. So that's one example of where you could start to work with someone and say, hey, let's see what's going on. Why are you on this medication in the first place? And let's start to now wean you off of this. And let's do it in a very data-driven, thoughtful way. For other people, maybe these medications are helping, right? But we can now start to get very precise in terms of the dose, the timing. It's not a very generic of prescription, but it's like, let's experiment here and see what's actually going to work and what's not, what type of sedative or hypnotic is going to work. So it becomes a very thoughtful educational conversation between the practitioner and the patient to do like a risk benefit analysis. Like, what's the risk of you taking this medication to improve your overall sleep architecture versus just having really poor sleep for the rest of your life?
Wow.
So it's like,
right.
It's a very thoughtful approach. It's not a cookie cutter approach.
I like that. So you're basically saying like, hey, you might not need this much of this medication.
Yeah. Or hey,
this one
this
at all.
is helping you.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know, right? Until you actually look at data to figure it out.
Are you guys doing anything unique in lab testing? Like anything just like, I guess, out of the ordinary? Obviously, this is what you're doing now.
Yeah. We do a lot of like cortisol testing, melatonin profiling.
Okay.
So that's not very common in sleep medicine to like go that deep into it. So we could then start to get a much deeper understanding of someone's like overall circadian rhythm, where they're at, and like, is their sleep timing sort of in line with what their biologic clock looks like. So we do that as well. We're doing comprehensive blood panels. So a lot of poor sleep can originate from just, different types of deficiencies, vitamin D deficiency, iron deficiency. So that's something that we look at as well. Yeah.
Nice. What are you looking forward to? I guess, like, what are the next steps? What are you guys innovating on right now? Like,
yeah. I think one of the most exciting things for us right now is, in the last 3.5 years since we've started, we've collected probably over 1 million hours of longitudinal sleep testing data. We have it's contextualized. We have an idea of like, what did this patient do that day? Because they're journaling in the app as well. What is their, what comorbidities do they have? What does their blood panel look like? So what we're really excited about is we basically recently launched an AI product that you can start to now query based off of this like massive database that we have, and we could endotype and phenotype patients, right? So these like individual care pathways that we discovered and made over the last 3.5 years, that did take a lot of time, right? It's like you're spending a lot of time with each patient trying to figure out what's working and what's not working. Now we can do that much more efficiently and do it much more quickly, which
Nice.
makes it so much more scalable to the masses. So I think that's super exciting. And also we integrated with, we're looking at consumer wearable data. So Apple Watch, H Sleep, Whoop, Aura. And so what's really interesting now is basically, building the infrastructure to bridge the gap between consumer wearables and actual healthcare, right? So now
Wow.
if someone
Wow.
has like
Yeah.
Aura data and they're like, God, I don't really know what this means. Like, what am I supposed to do if I have poor sleep? Well, now we can get a really deep understanding of like what's driving that. And now like, let's build a very personalized protocol for this person. So that's been super
Wow.
exciting. A lot of
Wow.
things. And then the last piece is like, we've just been working with a lot of longevity doctors, concierge doctors, who are now starting to implement Empower Sleep in their practice. So in addition to like a VO2 max, a DEXA scan, Gallery, Clearly, all of these things, they're doing sleep health assessments, which was not really normal before.
Oh, you guys are
So it's just-
normalizing it a little bit more. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like, hey,
nice.
everyone should get a sleep study done.
Yeah.
Why not? Right? Like sleep is so critical.
Right.
So that's been super exciting for us.
Oh man, that's and I guess this is just a question that I'm curious about is, so since you're getting so much research from every like, individual person, are there any like trends that you see that are like I guess detrimental or hurting someone's sleep? Like one of like I guess the main factors is there any data on like I guess like what the main cause might be?
Yeah,
or
again,
if,
it varies.
I mean, it varies,
It
obviously.
varies,
Yeah, but
I think a lot of the stuff that we're seeing is like just odd sleep timing, wake up times, like just inconsistencies, right? People have social jet lag, actual jet lag, that can drive a lot of poor sleep. So generally, a lot of behavioral things tend to be pretty common. The interesting thing is though, sometimes even if you fix the behavioral stuff, there's other physiologic things that can drive poor sleep. And a lot of the stuff there is like, what are some of the main drivers in addition to like mental health and stress and these sorts of
yeah,
things?
I was
is,
thinking
we see-
stress, like
yeah,
just
and that is a big factor for sure. In which case you can start to do really interesting things like HRV biofeedback loops and like basically helping someone build more sleep resilience. Because everyone's sleep resilience it's a little bit different, right? Like what might impact your sleep is different than what might impact my sleep. So you can travel a ton and have like jet lag, but still sleep kind of well, or have like a very stressful
everybody's
life,
definitely different.
but
Yeah,
someone else might not. Someone else's sleep might be less resilient. So that's been something that's pretty interesting to learn. But in terms of like what are the main drivers, yeah, like there is like the sort of sleep behavioral, like
Right.
sleep hygiene type stuff, and then of course there's other things like general comorbidities like obesity, for example, and sleep apnea, like have a huge overlap. Cardiovascular health issues and sleep disorders have a big overlap, so we see a lot of that as well.
Wow. Well, is there any data on sleep positioning?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like actual like
yeah,
sleep on
like
your back.
backside,
for sure.
because everybody's a little different on that one.
And that's also like positional therapy is a thing.
Wow.
So some people have much worse sleep apnea when they're sleeping on their back, for example, than their side. And there's like these really intricate like tools that you can use. Back in the day, people would like tie a tennis ball to the back, which is a thing, and that would prevent them from like sleeping on their back. But and there's other more like better ways of doing it now.
Well,
There's like Eight Sleep, for example. I think they recently just launched like an incline. So when you're snoring, and other mattresses are doing this too, when they detect snoring, it starts to incline, and theoretically, like that should help you open up your airway a little bit more.
Wow.
But sleep positioning is
while you're
huge, man.
sleeping. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
yeah,
That's
There's
wow.
a lot there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, man, awesome. Okay, how can we find you guys?
So www.empowersleep.com. You can find us there. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter as well. But yeah, or you could just come to the website, come find us. We are currently doing free like coaching consults to start. So if you're just curious, if you want to like meet with a sleep coach and you're like, hey, I want to review my Aura data or my Whoop data and just kind of get an idea of like, is this going to work for me? Come to the website, sign up, and we're happy to help in any way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. That is Sagar. Thank you so
Thanks a
much
lot.
for coming to the Better by Numbers podcast presented by Life Metrics. This is the third annual roundtable for longevity clinics. So thank you so much,
Thanks
my
for
friend.
listening.
Yes,
Appreciate
of course. Thank you for coming by.
Of course. Thanks a lot.
We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, man. That was
Dude,
cool.
no, thank you. That was that was so informative. Oh my god, that's pretty cool. I actually want to take a card myself.